Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, so I'm only doing this video because I can't share with people that I know. Okay, and a lot of you guys do not actually know. And so it's easier to have these conversations on this platform than it is in front of people that I'm not really sure if they truly support me or not, but they just go along with the flow kind of deal. And I'm never one to put the things that I want or the goals that I'm working towards really I don't speak on them really until they're done, right? In this particular case, like I said, I'm not worried. And honestly, I've been going back and forth of sharing this on other platforms, but I just don't know. I feel like maybe it's too soon. Okay. Um, so here's the deal, and it sucks because I'm kind of in a weird spot, right? Because I feel as though I manifested. Well, I don't know if he's everything on my list yet, right? Um, but I definitely manifested someone who I wanted kinda like it's almost like God, let me tell you, God is good, okay? I feel like I manifested someone who was on my level. Like the stuff that this man is talking, I'm about, right? And I know he's about because it's obvious, right? It's not something that I can't be like, "Oh, no." Like, he's definitely on a similar wavelength. The conversation now becomes and not now really, but us building on our friendship or our relationship or whatever that may be, right? So that we can build a solid foundation for one another. At the same time, it's too soon. It's one of these things where there's a lot of time here that will go by, and it allows me or any woman who's kind of in that spot or man, right, to really rethink if this is something he wants or not, or I want or not. So for me, I'm kind of just going with the flow. But this man just did something for me today. And again, I didn't ask him to. I didn't need him to, but I'm not gonna turn it down, especially when I have a kiddo, right? Yesterday on our date, I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know how he got on the subject, but he asked me if my daughter liked chicken nuggets. And I was like, yeah, I mean, she really likes the dino nuggies, but she likes chicken nuggets. And for a parent who has young kids, you know that they love the dino nuggies. Like, they like them more than Tyson, okay? But they love chicken nuggets overall. Kids, I'm starting to realize, are chicken nugget freaks, okay? So I said, well, yeah, and we're going on and on. He said, well, because I got, and this man starts going into how he's got like ton of chicken, like he is in a particular field which allowed him to receive like boxes of like fresh, like on brand type, like the good stuff, right? In terms of meat and chicken. Okay. And so he was like, well, what time? And he was asking me my schedule. Like we were talking, and I remember thinking, like, what was he like? What are you asking me these things for? But I also know he's so smooth, kind of. And I don't want to use the word smooth, but he is kind of smooth to the point where it's like you're having the dialogue about something completely different. And now he's asking you questions because he's planning something in his head. And so, and I'm not used to this, you guys. This is new for me, but because of where I'm at financially, where I'm at spiritually, mentally, um, this is it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you got this because I can reciprocate, right? I don't know about the level. I mean, we'll see. But I can reciprocate, okay, in terms of what the person is individually looking for. So, what this man tells me is he ended up getting basically like a bunch of chicken for free, but it was good quality chicken that he only really gave to certain people. Like he basically, because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, all these people that are talking about inflation prices, right? He was like, well, yeah, I have this, I came up on this, I come up on stuff like this all the time, basically. And I don't have enough room to put the food somewhere. So, if your daughter likes chicken nuggets, I'm more than happy to meet up with you and give it to you. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, like cool. Like I'm not gonna ever be like, nah, I don't need no chicken nuggets, right? Not when I have a kid that I know loves chicken nuggets. And plus it's food. So if I was ever hungry or something, there's food. Like, you know what I mean? And it's meat, right? It wasn't just chicken breast or chicken nuggets. I also got chicken breasts, right? So it was very interesting how this worked. Today, the man calls me and he's talking to me all day, right? Asking me my schedule, asking me what I'm doing. We're really just talking. He's still with the questions, but not, it's almost like we got the hard stuff. Again, we're going to have to get to know each other on a more, what's the word? I guess personal level, like not the representative, but us like having those conversations maybe more in depth, I guess. But essentially we had a lot of dialogue that was very tough. Like if there were tough questions, right? That were um that were asked, right? And I think on both sides. And it allows us to kind of know where each other's mindsets are in terms of where we're going, which, to be honest, it kind of creates like a safe space, right? But it's almost for me, it's like, hold up. Like, because I have a little bit of a guard up, right? And as I should, as a woman should. Um, and it's new to me, like having this healthy relationship thing. I like it. I always feel like I was always the healthy person, but maybe not because I still had to learn to love myself, right? And that's very much part of the reason why I attracted this type of individual. Again, I've attracted people that were similar but didn't always have the best characteristics, right? The best personality, stuff like that. So when I'm speaking to this man, and this man is taking the initiative because he has a lot to lose, right? These are things I be talking about, man. He has a lot to lose because he has now built himself up. So now that's the kind of male I could see women saying is the prize. That's like far few in between. Okay. This man deep down, I think, knows he's the prize. Like in his mind, he's the prize. I'm sure. But it doesn't, I don't even know if he thinks that he's the prize because the way he treated, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what I really think about this person, right? Because time will only tell. But so far, I'm very intuitive, and I'm not. Again, I'm still not excited yet. Like I'm happy, but it's not. It's almost like I can't allow myself to really, you know, until I know like this is real. So for me, it's not that I'm not excited. It's just I'm still getting to know the person, right? We're still in that phase of developing trust amongst one another. Um, really seeing what each other is about for real, for real. But the fact that on the second day, this man, let me tell y'all something. I told y'all he didn't take me on no elaborate date. Okay. And I don't mind it because it wasn't anything fancy, but it wasn't anything like I could be like an Applebee's or something. Okay. So I genuinely will be taking my daughter to that exact restaurant, right? And he's like, well, we could all go together. No, sir. I'm thinking me and my daughter, okay? At the time. Okay. Even now, I'm still thinking of me and my daughter. Um, but what's interesting is I now have a freezer full of food. And I just want that that man, and he doesn't give the food out. It's one of those things, and I get it, because if I was as a person, let me just tell you guys this: when you know how hard you work for things that you have, and when you know that you've done everything you can to build yourself up, you know what it takes to get there. You know what kind of mentality it you is required to be there. um you're the one kind of essentially putting the work in to get to where you want to be. So naturally, you're just anybody with some sense. Anybody with some sense, you're not going to just allow anyone into your space. Okay. Um, so I wholeheartedly, I resonate with this man. Maybe it's because we think very similar. But for him to put food in my freezer at the magnitude that he did, I'm like, fuck, and I shouldn't even told my daughter. Like, real talk, I just told my daughter, like, but my daughter and I are so close that I texted her. I said, well, I'm getting a few bags of chicken nuggets. And I told her who it was from a little bit, right? Not too much, but a little bit. And my daughter was so excited about when she saw them chicken nuggets in that freezer. Man, my daughter, I'm telling y'all now, my daughter's about to have a blast. And when I showed him what her response was, I thought it was funny because she's crazy. My daughter's funny. She's her, but she's silly. But she's serious, right? She's just being her. So I showed him her response, and he was like, nice. Like, I'm glad I was able to make an impression on her. And something my old roommate used to tell me all the time. It's crazy how much things we have in common, right? Because my old roommate and this man have the same name, first of all. So I thought that was pretty cool. And he doesn't really know about my old roommate yet. Like, I feel like there's certain conversations that you have at different times, right? So while we had a lot of conversations that were, again, they were hard, they were pretty much like, it wasn't, for me, how I feel is it was very much a first date appropriate conversation. Okay. um I feel as though this man, because this is what my old roommate told me, there was a man who tried to talk to me when I was with my daughter once. And the man, a lot of men do this where they try to speak directly to the kid and be trying to, like, nah, I don't do weird shit when it comes to my kid, right? But for this man, for my daughter not to even notice man, okay, from a can of paint, and his very presence be in the house in terms of food. So he's not stupid. This man is not dumb. What my old roommate said, and he told me straight up, if I was a man approaching a woman with a girl or a child, period, I would try to appease to them, right? Meaning that if I want to, I don't know. He gave me an example, I'm sure, at one point, but it's almost like you don't just talk to the mom. You've got to learn how to interweave the kid in there somehow, right? A lot of men, this idea that they don't date single moms, like, okay, whatever, like, okay, that don't like me personally, y'all. I could give two fucks, right? Because there are men who do, okay. But not only that, um it's important when a man is talking to a woman who has a child that he somehow interweaves her in that experience a little bit, right? And not in the sense that he needs to be dating the child. I hope I'm saying it right. But not like that. Like, that's inappropriate, right? But in the sense that, okay, I'm dating your mom, but I'm letting you know, like, these chicken nuggets are for her. He straight up said, he had other intentions, which he said was, I was just trying to see you. And deep down, I already knew that. But in my head, I'm like, it's free fucking food, bro. Like, I'm not going to turn it down. My freezer is full. I appreciate that. And the person that appreciates it 10 times more is my kiddo. Now my kiddo has a father. She don't need another father really. But I made it very clear to him, we're a package deal, right? You can take me out to eat cuz I don't want him to meet her just yet. I don't know when that timing for me would be appropriate. I don't know, like that's another level of conversation that I think if he and I got serious maybe, but just the fact that it's like, you know what, I'm thinking of her, but he was really thinking of me. But I'm showing you I can do this too. I can do the team thing, like, that's cool. So now my kid, she don't know him, but she knows of him, right? Because that's who got her the chicken nuggets. So the first time that these folks they end up interacting, my daughter will have a positive taste on her tongue, not a negative one, so long as he continues to have a positive taste on my tongue. Not like that, y'all, but y'all get what I'm saying. So, I thought that was pretty cool, man, for being, like I said, it's the second time I've seen him, I will maybe third. It's not it's the third time. But it was innocent. It was like not innocent for him, but it was innocent. And the coolest thing about this, let me tell y'all, see, this is what happens when a man is pursuant of you, right? This man told me all day we were because he told me yesterday, he's like, I gotta, he's like, what time do you get off? Like, okay, well, I got this to do and this to do and this to do, but I can, make this happen and that happen. If I do this, I can do that. And I'm thinking like it's all good. Like for me, I could care less if I got some chicken nuggets or not. Like if you couldn't do it today, I mean, maybe some other time. I hear you. And he kept saying, well, they need it out their fridge and yada yada yada. I'm thinking, nah, get the hell out of here. Like I just don't know a lot of people that would just give away free food like that. His intent was to see me. And I only saw him for like 2 seconds. It was like a quick, I'm pulling up. He put the stuff in the trunk in his nice little truck. It's a nice truck. I had a second look at it. I was like, ooh, I already said it hands down. I love a man with a nice truck. Not the toy trucks, but the nice ones, them big ones, them nice ones where people are looking like, dang, your truck is nice. You know what I mean? Like there's certain trucks that do that, and I don't explain it, okay? But there are, okay? Pulls up in his truck, puts the box in the back of my trunk, and I had to, obviously find a way to unload all that damn chicken, and it all fit in my fridge or my freezer. So that is what's up, okay? I think that this ain't a man who's necessarily simping. It's just this is how you court a woman. Like this, what else you finna do? You can, it's free food. It wasn't like he had to pay for it. He's got a freezer full of food. His mama got a freezer full of food. His friends got a freezer full of food. But the problem is, there's so much food. He had to find other people to give it to. So I respect that. Let me tell you guys, this man told me he liked me, which I already knew. I mean, it's obvious, but I felt like I should tell him I like him back. Um, and see, the thing is, he's had a conversation with me well enough to know that like could really mean anything. Okay. I don't know that I like him in terms of like, yeah, let's be in a relationship or anything, but I like him as in the sense that I feel like he's actually good people, you know? Because I ain't had nobody fill up my fridge. I'm gonna tell you now, that probably got to me more than a $300 date. Food is expensive right now. And then you gotta understand, in my mind, I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just give the food away for free? Like if you ain't got nowhere to put it. But in my mind, I'm also thinking, if I was in that situation, would I just be giving that food away, considering everything that's happening right now? I don't know. But the idea, and I'm sure it makes him feel good to be able to give it to who he feels like deserves it. Like, first thing he said, of course, I like you. I did it. I did this because I like you. So I'm thinking, well, damn, if you didn't like me, I wouldn't be. My freezer would be bare. I mean, I had stuff in my freezer, but y'all know what I mean. I love that the conversation is, well, I like you. That's why I gave you this. No strings attached. 2 seconds, he pulls back in his garage. I pull off. It's like, oh, that's cool. So this is a man that doesn't need me. I love it because I always said I don't want a man that needs me. I don't want it. I'm not a woman that needs him. I don't want him to need me. Okay. This is a man who knows how to show up and how to pursue a woman. And he's creative with his tactics. Okay. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've never experienced this before at this level. But something I told my old roommate, because my old roommate, he's curious. He's like a dad. So he was like, a date? Like you ain't checked in with me. That was kind of cool too, you guys. Um, but I told him, and my off the rip, because my old roommate was like, you don't want a man in trucking. But I used to think I wanted a man in white collar, but I need to know the man is a man and not gonna like. The thing about me is I feel like white collar is too soft a little bit when it comes to men, right? I feel like those kinds of men become a bit, I don't know, it's questionable. Like you don't know if they're gay, you don't know if they're straight. There's a lot of things that come with men who work in similar fields like me. And I'm not saying they all are, right? But if in this field, if I was to go for a man in this field, he would have to be white. It just is what it is. So I just, I don't know. I'm not into the whole I'm undercover brother type stuff, right? And I feel like Caucasians are more open with who they are and what they are versus like black males. But my roommate kept saying, well, go get you because I'm a geek, like I'm a nerd at heart. So go find you someone that's white collar. They make more money, they're smarter, yada yada yada. Possibly. I'm gonna tell y'all now, the kind of work I do these days, I'm like, dang, I don't know how I'm doing it. They can I have no idea how I'm doing it because it's hard. It's not hard for the people who have been doing it like me. Like we've been doing it, but there's a level of toughness that comes with the work that I do. The work that I do is not easy. And I remind myself of that every day. I've got so much work on my plate, y'all, and I've got so many things to do and I have to be able to do them so quickly. Man, so the work we do in white collar is mentally draining. That's the thing. So like when I got off of work, this person was like, "Oh, well, it doesn't seem like you had a good day because I was tired." I'm not trying to talk about work. I'm really not even trying to think. Once I get off the clock, I'm done thinking. That's how that's how my brain needs to operate because otherwise I can't recharge for the next day. My brain will just keep going. That's how much mental strain we have in the work that we do because it's education, right? It's I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot of mental strain. Um, so I would say this: when I told my roommate, I was a bit shy. I didn't really want to tell him that this man was blue collar, okay? Because I've been in instances where truckers have hit on me, but they weren't necessarily the kind of guy that I like, where they were really cheating on a girl, basically, or trying to do a threesome or whatever, some weird shit, right? But what caught my attention is this man owns his own business, right? And so the mindset is different, the mentality is different. 9 times out of 10, you know, like I told him, I said, I'm pretty sure you got an accountant. Like you can't be doing that good and not have an accountant. I don't see how you're like, I don't get it. And you guys have to understand we're in a state where everything costs 10 times extra. So if you're living life, quote unquote, you're really living life. And that's why I say inflation don't hit everybody the same. It hits like I don't necessarily like having to pay a little bit more, but do I have money to do what I want to do? Of course. So I think that, it's a very interesting situation, and I appreciate him. Like, I'm like, shoot, the least I could tell you is that I like you. That way, okay, you ain't just doing this just to do this, right? I like what I see so far, right? I've already touched on consistency, what is necessary for me to even want to trust you or open up to you or whatever. So I have no problem letting them know, yeah, I like you. Plus, I'm working on not holding back, because a lot of people thought when I was coming up, a lot of people would think that I'm playing games because I never spoke on my feelings, right? I still don't know my feelings, but the fact that you were able to do something, this man was able to do something of that magnitude that impacted me. I mean, it did. It impacted my daughter. Um, yeah, that's a win. That's a hell of a win, you know? So I'm just sharing my story because, again, I think that there's a lot of women who lack self love. And something I know, like I was telling my roommate, I'm like, because I was telling him, I'm like, I don't want to get too excited, but these are the things and these are the traits that he has. And my old roommate wants to know those things because it's like, is she choosing the right man or not? Like, he just wants to know I'm okay, right? So I told him all the things that I like, or at least that I've seen so far. Not really that I like, right? But that I've observed. And I was hesitant to tell him about the trucker experience, but surprisingly, I ended up getting his blessing, right? And it was almost like, I trust you. Like, you have learned enough. He said, you've learned so much that I trust that you know what's in the best interest of you and your daughter, right? And he called her by her first name, obviously, but you and your daughter. He told me he's really happy for me, which is something he doesn't say ever, right? And because he's the man that taught me my game, right? Like, so, and it's not even a game, but he taught me the game. Let's put it that way. And what he said was, you go slow or just take your time. Like, where I don't want to rush, and I don't know. Like, I don't want to lose myself in this process. So I want to be able to think and process pretty much every step of the way, right? So what he told me was, don't rush it. And, obviously let it take its natural course. And it's an opportunity, obviously, to decide if you like this individual. What he said was, when you raise your standards higher, see, the thing is, my standards are raised higher for myself, and I genuinely walk in it, right? So while I've had a lot of males approach me, and I say males intentionally, approach me, they've never even come close to the man that's trying to date me now, if that makes sense. Not even close. I could put, like, and it's crazy how that happens. It's crazy. So understanding that that individual, what he told me was, that kind of individual is so rare that when you raise your standards and you genuinely walk in that, right? You are naturally going to see that a lot of men do not measure up. That's what he said. So when you find that one, he didn't tell me to go get married. He said you see it more, you notice it more, you're going to gravitate towards that person more. So just like I was telling him, yesterday, I'm like, bro, like, real talk, we are like, it's hard because as a woman, that this is the kind of man, essentially, quote unquote, again, I don't know the man fully at all, right? But the phenotype, the image, right? And I know people are like, oh, that's shallow, but it's true. The full package. Just like I'm the full package. I'm not lacking for anything by the grace of God. But the fact that he's a full package, as a woman, you'd be foolish to not at least give him a chance. And as a man, he's like, you would talk to me? Like, I'm so honored. And I'm thinking, there ain't many people like you, my guy. Like, half these men don't even got a car. They don't even got houses. These are the types of men that approach me on a regular basis, right? I seen a dude, I was getting out of my car and I look cute, right? I look good pretty much every day. Dude he's walking past, but he's got his little homeless satchel, right? And he's walking past talking about, hey, I had straight up ignored him. Y'all, I mean, the dude was looking at me. We was the only two in the vicinity, but I'm telling you now, I ignored him. Now there's people probably watching and stuff, but y'all get what I'm saying. He was the only, like, there was no one else he could have been talking to. When he gave me a compliment, that's when I said thank you, but I kept it pushing. And I waited for him to move on so I could go about my safe space. Okay. Uh, I didn't want nobody following me or something crazy. That's just, I don't know. I have to look men in the eyes and let them know that I see them. Um, so I've had men that were not, and it's crazy to me how many men will approach a woman that are not really even closely, remotely prepared for that kind of woman. It frustrates me. So, like I explained to him, I said, listen, you as a woman, I'll be playing games here. If I really treated you, and I'm not going to give you all this extra, I'm going to give you as much as you give me. So, you put food in my fridge, you made sure my baby ate. Okay, I like you. And, like, I mean, anything. But I'm gonna let you know that, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing. I don't, I'm not trying to, I mean, I want to play hard to get, but not that hard to get. Not hard to get to where he has to question my motives or whether or not I really like him or not, whether or not it's worth his time. So, um, we'll see, you guys. Like I said, I am just happy I got a freezer full of food. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this kind of man because I know the dating is only gonna pick up because we really only have so much time. But he's also trying to get my daughter involved somehow so that I don't know. You could tell he's trying to not build, but like again, if my daughter was to meet him, even right now, like if she was to meet him, she'd be in love with him because he bought her chicken nuggets. That's fucking kids, bro. So. But the moment, like I say, mommy has full control over that. So that's cool. My daughter is team mommy 100%, but she'll take your chicken nuggets happily. So, this was cool, you guys, because I have been really, I feel like I have went a couple years where I'm like, folks don't really understand my value or my worth, right? And for someone to come in of a much higher level and status than you, like he's definitely in a higher level, right? I'm only on my first car. And it's a gosh darn Kia. I mean, it's nice, but I could be on much higher stuff. I don't own my condo, right? There's certain things that I don't own. I'm not there yet. Okay. The fact that I can pay $1,500 a month and pay my bills and have money left over though, that says a lot. So, y'all, I think women, my experience so far is that it takes a period for when you start to love yourself and you start to really work on self as a woman, right? It takes a period for you to really go through one, finding your power, walking in your power, and really being able to stand in your truth and on your own. And most women can, right? But that strength level is not necessarily there. The qualities of a man is a very much more attracted to the woman who has her shit together. The qualities of a man is much more attracted to someone that is on an equal playing field as him or higher or lower, but equal. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. He wants essentially a lot of men will choose a woman that they know is going to be able to kill it. Like they're going to be able to go out there and run the show. Like they should be. So loving yourself is the key. I said this yesterday. He said the same things. We both be talking about the same stuff, man. Loving yourself first. That is the hardest step because the world is telling you you're selfish. How dare you? You need a man. Fuck all of that. You don't need nobody but you. And if somebody wants to come in and add a level of value to your life by any means, I mean, take it. Like I told him, I'm not going to, I don't need your chicken nuggets. So because you gave me the chicken nuggets, I didn't tell him that because that's not nice, but you get what I'm saying. Like I can go out and buy right now, if I wanted a bag of chicken nuggets, I could go out and buy it. Right. But it's the fact that this individual thought of me, not just me, but my daughter, right? Because that's how that started was with my daughter. And you could tell there were no strings attached. In his mind, he's like, this is what I should be doing because I like you. So, um, I think that when we're trying to attract quality, because like I said, we may not end up being together. I don't know. Like something could happen and then we just, boom. I don't know. But the fact that I even attracted this type of individual to me tells me that I can do better. And I know people be saying, well, she hit the wall, you hit the wall. No, I don't know that that's how that works. I think women become a little bit more of value to men who value women. I just don't know how else to explain it. An older woman actually has more value than a little girl. It just is what it is. So yeah, that was my day, y'all. That was my little like night. It was kind of cool because I haven't touched anything in any of the food. I haven't started cooking anything. I thought about it. Um, but yeah, y'all, like this was my day today, and I'm sitting here thinking like this man just put a whole. I remember the days when I was poor and I didn't have no food. We was eating the onions, fried onions and stuff. Like I remember them days, and I'm thinking this man just put a freezer full of food in my yeah, food in my freezer. That's crazy. See, when I was in poverty and not loving myself, I only attracted men who didn't love themselves, let alone me. So I'm excited to kind of see where it goes, right? I'm a little nervous that I told him I liked him, but I don't know that he believes me. Like I don't think he I hope not. Cause I'm like, if you're saying it and you're older than me, I can at least say it back, right? I feel like it's worth it. I don't know where the relationship is going to go. That doesn't mean that this is going to work out in 3 months, but in terms of building that friendship, we're definitely like, you're on a good start, sir. Shoot, I'm gonna tell you now, he's on a great start. Like I'm like, damn. Okay, so I must love myself real well for God to be sending this kind of man to me. The problem though is I'm like, do I want kids? Do I want to get married? These two questions are very difficult for me. Um, I feel like if it's meant for me, then I've always prayed for God. Like if that's what He wants me to do, then I just need to be able to do it without thinking, processing, analyzing. Like I need to just go with the flow and I need God. Usually for me, I need God because I'm an overthinker. I will analyze some shit and find a way to jump out of that. But if it's for me, God is going to have to walk me through that door by accident. Cause I don't know that it's something I really want to do anymore. It just is what it is. And then he's talking about having kids. You want kids? Oh no, man. I kind of gave up on a lot of that stuff. So We'll see, you guys. I'm happy. But I'm more happy because I'm like, dude, I got a freezer full of food. And that is a blessing. And for that to not come with anything, like, it just says a lot more about the character of the man, right? Which I appreciate. It's kind of hard because I wonder how he was thinking of me because it was weird. But I don't know. I like it. I'm ready to move forward and go on another date. Let's see. So remember that self love is the key. Okay, it is the key to all things. Independent women, when you settle, it's like there's a lot of independent women who settle for individuals that are really not on their level, and they buy into this rhetoric that we're having to be like sacrificing ourselves for the sake of a man. um but they're trying to build with men who haven't built themselves up yet. There's a lot of women like that. So self-love wouldn't allow you to put yourself in that position in the first place. Something I told my old roommate, I said, when he told me to take my time, I said, I will. I said, I don't want to be in a situation where we're dealing with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. My old roommate said, he says, you won't. I got enough faith in you to know by now, like, you are going to make the right choices. And I think that because this individual and I had a conversation already about what we expect in a way without saying it. Well, no, we said it, but not like I expect this, right? Not in that tone or using those kinds of words, right? Just in our deal breakers, our pet peeves. I didn't go into everything because I'm trying to see, we'll see. I don't tell a man all my stuff, but I give you enough so you know that I'm participating. I'm a willing participant. So, um, I'm still confident that like I said, I'm not. When this individual sees me, I guarantee you that question of liking him will come up. I guarantee it because I'm nice, but I don't take no shit. You see what I'm saying? So the question of like how much do you like me? Do you like me like me? Do you like me as a friend like me? Like, what does that mean? I guarantee you that's about to come up at some point because of my personality, right? And who he's already seen. So, today was a good day, you guys. And so far, so good. I'm like, oh, this dating thing is like cool when it's done right. But it's being done right because of the standards that I have. You see? So women, we gotta like I don't know, man, because I'm starting to think like, well, dang, if this man did this, that means plenty of other men will be doing a hell of a lot more. And I'm too young to play the field, right? I mean, I could. I mean, technically, I don't know that I'm too young as long as I'm pretty and fit and in shape. I don't know that I'm ever too young. Nah. Or too old, to play the field. But I also know I'm not playing the field with just anybody. Like, so it's gonna take a whole nother year or two or three to find that same individual or equivalent, you know. So that's all I gotta say on the matter, y'all, man. Loving yourself really does change the name of the game in terms of who you date. If you guys ever talk to a woman, I used to ask people all the time, like girls that I knew, how is it that you ended up married and I'm still single? And a lot of these women will tell me, I don't know, like I made a pact to start loving myself and I was focused on myself only. And then, this individual appeared, like when at the time when I really wasn't looking. I really wasn't looking, y'all. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm grateful. But I wanted to share that with you guys because I think that's important. You know, the man didn't spend any money on me at all. I drove to him to meet him. So it wasn't like he spent any money on me. but his impression lasts longer because he helped to put food in my belly, and not only just my belly, but my daughter's belly. And food that can last for at least, I mean, I got at least 2 months worth of food in my freezer. It's crazy. Crazy. And I woke up this morning, I had absolutely nothing. I mean, I had some stuff, but nothing. So that's all I got to say on the matter, y'all. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.